I'm Julie, Faith Van Balzer, and today I'm going to show you how to make cupcake wrappers. So if you've never seen cupcake wrappers before, they're a really easy way to add a beautiful homemade touch to any cupcake, even if it's store-bought. So this is a plain wrapper, which is cute, and you could cut it out of regular pattern paper or something like that. But this is an extra special and totally personalized cupcake wrapper to really make somebody's day totally special. So to get started, we're going to go to ScanNCut Canvas. Now, all you need is an internet-connected device like a tablet, a laptop, a computer, something like that. And here I am at ScanNCut Canvas. Now, you can use any cupcake wrapper base to start if you want. I am going to go ahead and use one which will also be available to you. Now, if you want to import a file like I'm doing, as opposed to using a file that you already have, you do have to use a computer or a laptop. You can't use a tablet. But I'm going to start by saying new. And once that file opens, I'm going to say SVG. And we're going to choose the file. Now, I happen to know that on my desktop, I have the file, the cupcake wrapper file, saved. So I'm going to go ahead and open that, say OK, and there it is. Now, this cupcake wrapper file, if I select it, you can see there's a second little box of blue lines. That's because it's actually made up of two files. And I want to do my best not to disturb the two files. So the first thing is I'm going to zoom in a lot, because I want to be able to really see what I'm doing and working with. And now I want to go ahead and add some text. So I'm going to start at the very top with text. I like to use the most basic font for this because I think that's the way it looks best. And I'm going to go ahead and delete out the word text, and I'm going to put in my first letter. I like to put the cap locks on because I like to use capital letters for this, and I'm just going to say L. Now, the reason I'm doing this letter by letter is I want to curve the text along with the cupcake wrapper. So while that is selected, I'm going to hold down the Option or the Alt key on my keyboard to make sure that there is another L. Then I'm going to delete that out and add an O. And then I'm going to do the same process of Option or the Alt key. And there you go, create another one until I have the whole word spelled out. So I'm just going to take a moment to do that and get all my text. Okay, so now I have all my text, and it's a little confusing because obviously they're all over each other. But the other thing is you can see there it's way too big. So I'm going to select all of my text, and I'm going to temporarily group it together. This creates one big box, but when it's all grouped together, this means that now I can resize it simply by dragging at the blue dots in the corners so that the letters are going to be small enough for me to be able to use. So once they're resized the way that I want them, then I can go ahead and ungroup them and now they're individual letters. So now I'm just going to sort of lay them into place where I think they need to be, and once they're all laid out, then I'll go ahead and start the curving process. So once I've laid it out and I can see that my spacing looks good, then I'm going to begin the process of really lining it so it's just slightly overlapped, and where I need to curve it I can. Now I do have a video that's all about curving text by hand, and you can check that out if you want to know more about it in detail. Okay, so once that's all done, I want to make sure that I select all of the letters plus the wrapper, and then under the edit menu I'm going to go to process overlap and weld it. So now you can see this is one big piece and it looks great, but that's not enough. I want to add even a little more decoration to this. So from the built-in shapes, which you can find on the left-hand side, I'm going to go to basic and I'm going to look for a heart shape because after all, this cupcake wrapper is all about love. So once I found my heart, I'm going to drag it in, and then using all the same things that you've already done, I'm simply resizing, adjusting, and rotating, and I'm going to duplicate by holding down the Alt or the Option key. We're just going to do this over and over and over again. So once you've added all of your hearts, and of course you could do this with any shape, it works for a lot of different holidays, then you are ready to go ahead and send this over to your ScanNCut. So we're going to download it and select ScanNCut Transfer or the wireless transfer. So I'm going to go ahead and set up some pattern paper and we'll get to cutting. So you can see I've loaded some pattern paper onto a cutting mat, and now from the home screen, I'm gonna go ahead and choose pattern and the wireless transfer button. And there's our cupcake file. So now we are ready to cut it. So I'm going to say okay and cut. Now, obviously you should do a test cut to make sure that your settings are correct. I've already done one, so I'm ready to go ahead and press the start button. I'm just gonna unload this from the machine, and I can pull my wrapper carefully. If I need to, I can use the spatula tool to get under there, to get into any of those little bits and parts. Make sure that you've got all the little insides of the letters out. And once that's done, you are ready to wrap it around your cupcake. Now, this wrapper has a little notch for you to insert the end so that it goes around. So now you can do this around the cupcake, or you can do it like I've done and then simply drop the cupcake in just like that. And now you can see your cupcake wrapper is right there. For more tips, tricks, and techniques, be sure to visit my blog at balzerdesigns.typepad.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget about the ScanNCut website at ScanNCut.com.